From the looks of the crowd here and the one outside, I probably don't have to make this announcement, but just in case someone missed it, the cemetery is not on our agenda. There will be no discussion and no public hearing on that until, if and when it comes back to the BZA. We'll call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we'll stand for the pledge, please. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You have the minutes of our last meeting before you. I'm sorry. Call the roll, please.
Keith Bratcher.
Here.
Joe Crowell. Here. Linda Dansby. Joe Machado.
Here.
Jerry Sartain. Tony Webb.
Yeah.
Diane Cantrell.
Present.
All voting members are present. We do have a quorum, sir.
Okay, you have the minutes before you. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Needs to be a correction on the where it says Chairman Cantrell presented May 12th. That should be Vice Chairman Sartain.
Okay. Did you get that? Are there any other changes or additions? All right. So noted, and it will be taken care of. Do I hear a motion that they be approved? Yes. Another one? I see you all do read your minutes. Any others? Okay, with those changes, do I hear a motion that be approved? A motion that be approved. We have a second by Keith. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. The minutes are approved as amended. The first item of business we have is a request by James Lassiter, who is requesting a conditional use for an accessory dwelling. What do you have on that?
Application 2010-19 filed by James Lassiter involves a property located at 611 Timber Place. This property is located in Commissioner Robert Pease district. It's a 0.91 acre parcel located in a residential 15 zone. They are seeking conditional use approval for the establishment of an accessory dwelling on a property less than an acre and a variance relief to allow an additional 360 square feet of accessory structure area to an existing 2,245 square feet for a total of 2,605 square feet. The lot in question would be entitled to 1,800 square feet of accessory area, structure area by right, so he is seeking to exceed that even more so than he already does. The applicant is seeking the variance to cover a 12 by 30 area of an existing detached structure to provide a shaded area by the pool. He is also seeking the conditional use to for zoning approval for an existing accessory structure was converted in 2007 absent zoning approval into an accessory dwelling unit. It's a self-contained unit and it's been there since 2007, but we were alerted to it this past month and the applicant has amended the application to include this request. If it's approved, he will have to obtain the permits, demonstrate that the structure meets building code, and pay the development tax on this additional dwelling. Staff finds that the proposed request meets the criteria for conditional use approval. However, it does not meet the criteria for the variance request for the additional accessory structure area. This is surrounding properties. Because the reason for the request is not due to any conditions of the land or property, it's just a personal preference. And this is the home in the neighborhood, and that was the home. and this is the home that the applicant resides in. This is the accessory structure that has been converted into an accessory dwelling unit, and it's been in place for since 2007. So we've not received any complaints on this particular unit having been created over the course of the last 3 years. So we don't feel that it would be a nuisance or detrimental to the surrounding area. And that's the subject property. We posted the sign on the site, and we have received one call in opposition of the request.
Do you have any questions of the staff on this? We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak for and against this. But before, I'd like for whoever is representing this request to come forward at this time. And then we will have a public hearing on this following the information. Do you have any other information you'd like to share on this?
The only thing was that Jim was supposed to be here, Kent, because
Would you
held.
state your
You'll
name
give
for
us
the
your
record?
Oh, I'm
name.
sorry. Johnny Moss. Jim wasn't to be here, but I'm actually the one who poured the concrete for him. They tried to do the grill and all of that, and it was just too much heat for them. What they're asking to do, what she just said, I read when I got here, but they want to put a top over it, side, so I can screen it in so they can enjoy it at night and from the heat. That was what I was supposed to be asking about. The building that's there existing, it was there when I first started. Like I say, I'm doing the work for him. And if he said I would be more able to answer the question as far as the construction part of it, he thought, then he would anyway.
Is this,
Are they building a patio? Is that what they're doing, Mr. Moss?
The patio's poured. I poured the concrete.
And is there a pool there also?
That was been there.
That's
Yes,
been
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am.
And this
Everything has been there except for the concrete pad that I poured and the redoing of the, what'd you call it?
The conversion of the existing
Conversion.
detached structure into an ADU.
Right.
What I did to that unit was like the old gas heater that was in there. You could walk in and smell natural gas, or well, it was propane.
Right.
To me, it needed to be upgraded. It was more of a chance of a fire than anything. We upgraded that. I redid the plumbing, but I redid what was already existing.
So what now they're asking for is to cover the new patio
Yes, ma'am.
that you've poured.
Yes, ma'am.
And that area is about a 12 by 30.
It's 12 by 30 pad poured right next to the, what you call it building again?
Accessory dwelling unit.
That's it.
Are they going to screen it in, or is it
Yes,
just a
ma'am.
carport type?
It's going to be covered, and it'll be like a wood wall up so far and then screened.
Okay, thank you.
is this consistent with what the information that you have on it?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a little.
So we're talking about a screened-in patio.
Well, we've addressed two issues in this particular application: the conditional use for the ADU and the variance request for the covered area that they're wanting to place over the patio.
I didn't understand it that way. Maybe you all did. Any other questions? Thank you. You may be seated. We'll open this now for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Close the public hearing. Do we have a motion on it?
Mr. Chairman, are you going to make these two requests, or did you want one?
I think we can handle this with one. You may.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve as long as the accessory dwelling meets the standards of the building code and the health department.
And that includes the patio.
And that includes the patio, yes.
Okay. Do we have a second on it?
Second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Keith Bratcher,
Yes.
Linda Dansby,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Tony Webb, Zane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item we have is a request by Ron Jones, who is requesting a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling. What do you have on there?
Application 2010-34, filed by Ron Jones, lies within Commissioner Jack Black's district. The location of the site is 120 Gloria Street. It's a 0.75 acre parcel located in the residential 15 zone. The applicant is requesting conditional use approval to allow the establishment of an accessory dwelling on a property less than 1 acre with variance relief from the front yard setback in the R15 zoning district. The applicant is proposing two scenarios. He is working along with the Department of Environment to determine which scenario would work better because of the site being encumbered by septic soils. And the first scenario of an addition to the existing dwelling would require him to vary from the 25% maximum limitation of the principal structure for the attached ADU. The attached ADU would be 760 square feet of livable area, and that would equate to 29% of the principal structure. The second scenario involves the construction of a detached accessory dwelling behind the principal dwelling, and both of these requests involve the need for variance to allow him to go up to 10 feet off of the property line on Praise Court. His property is a corner lot and is required to provide two 40-foot front yard setbacks because of that. And it's also encumbered by the radius of a cul-de-sac and septic soils. We find that the site is unique in its shape and the conditions of the property, being the septic soils comprising his entire rear property. It really limits his ability to place any additions to the property. So we do find that it does meet the criteria for an ADU and a variance. However, we are concerned about the visual impact that the neighbors on Praise Court might have because of the placement of their existing homes and having an additional dwelling unit that's within 10 feet off of the Praise Court road frontage. And these are pictures. This is the existing principal dwelling and surrounding properties. We did receive one call in opposition from an adjacent property owner. This property owner is located off of Gloria Street. It's an interior lot. They were concerned about the placement of the ADU in the rear yard. And surrounding properties. This is Praise Court that you see looking at the intersection of Gloria Street and Praise Court and the homes located there. And this is the location, approximate location of the ADU if it is approved. And staff posted a sign at the property. And that concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Do we have anyone here representing this request? If you'll come around, please. Give us your name and any additional information you might have.
My name is Ron Jones. I live at 120 Gloria Street in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, in the Walter Hill community.
Is that it?
That's all I got.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
I have a couple of questions. Your site plan does not show a kitchen in this house. Are you going to put a kitchen in there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this for family members only?
It is. My mother-in-law, who is currently 70 years old, we moved her down 2 weeks ago from Decatur, Illinois area, and we're looking to build an additional unit or a addition in order to put her there for independent living space.
Okay. What would be the entrance, or which way would it face? The front door, I guess.
The addition or the additional unit would face Praise Court. It would actually face, if you're looking at the map, it would be the right, almost where the R is in Praise Court.
Okay, and your fence would be removed, I guess?
Yes. Well, I mean, part of it would. Some of it would need to stay up.
Okay, okay. Is there going to be a driveway cut or anything like that?
No driveway, no separate address.
Okay. Thank you.
Keith? Okay. Any other questions? I thought you looked like you had a question. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this subject. Commissioner Black.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Jones, he called me about this about a couple of months ago, I guess, when he started this, and just like he said it was for his mother-in-law, and I trust him as far as that goes. And I talked to a neighbor, and that lived directly in behind him. He was not opposed to it, but I'd like to put a condition on it. If this is approved, if it's sold, I'd like for it to resort back to the way it is right now before this is granted, if it's plain enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll close the public hearing. We have a motion on it. Keith?
Make a motion be approved.
Have a motion that be approved. We have a second.
Before we get a second.
I'll second.
We got a second.
Is that motion to approve with Commissioner's recommendation or as staff presented?
As presented.
As presented.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have people who can review that. It's not necessary to be put in a motion.
Who was the second?
Linda. Call the roll, please.
Keith Bratcher,
Yes.
Linda Dansby,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Tony Webb,
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item we have is a request by Penelope Brown, who is requesting a conditional use permit for an attached accessory dwelling. What do you have on that?
Application 2010-35 filed by Penelope Brown involves a property located in Commissioner Steve Sandlin's district. The property is located at 213 Wellington Way. It's a .66 acre property located in the R15 zone. They are seeking conditional approval to allow the establishment of an attached accessory dwelling on a property less than an acre with variance relief from the conditions for ADUs that require ADUs to be 25% or less of the principal structure. The square footage of the proposed ADU will be 1,332 square feet. They are adding to the existing structure and by 5 feet and convert the existing garage into living area. This will provide a separate and independent living area for the applicant so that she can be proximate to her daughter and her family that lives in a main house. And staff finds that it meets the criteria for ADUs and recommends approval. This is the subject property. This is the house. You'll see that they will be adding to the garage by 5 feet. And let's see, surrounding properties. And it's a residential area. This is the approximate location of the addition and conversion of the existing garage. We posted the signs and have not received any phone calls in favor or against the request.
Mr. Cantrell, I have a question for staff. Is it exceeding the 25% by 71%, or is it 71% minus the 25%?
It will actually, based on the dimensions shown in the applicant's site plan, and we took the overall dimensions of the living area, media room, screened-in porch, and bath area. That was the attached area, and came up with 1,332 square feet. And so it would be approximately 71% of the main structure.
And she's allowed 25%,
Yes.
so she's only getting 45% variance, I guess.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have anyone here representing this request? Will come around, please. Give us your name and any other information you'd like to share.
Hi, I'm Tricia Farrell, and I am her daughter, and my husband and my son and I will be living in the main structure. I did want to go ahead and clear up some issues about the square footage. The square footage of the actual main house. I have a building sketch and a square footage from an appraiser that I'd like to submit, if it's okay. What they have for as far as the square footage of the main house is incorrect. The actual square footage is 2,061 square feet, and the square footage of the addition, including the remodel, is actually 957 square feet, so it's a lot less than the 1,300.
957?
Yeah. It's 957. So the actual addition, which is going to be an addition to the garage, is going to only be 512 square feet. So we're going to be, it's a lot less than the 71%, I think is what you guys were saying. And it is going to be for my mother. For, you know, when she gets older, she has her cats and her pets and everything, and we would like to keep her with us as long as possible. She has awesome insurance, so we could have in-house nurse. She's 70 years old now. She's had hip replacements and other health issues and things, so we want to make sure that she's well taken care of in our home.
Thank you. Any questions? You may be seated. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Oh, that's fine. Close the public hearing. We'll have a motion on it.
If her square footage is correct, then she doesn't need the variance, correct?
If it is indeed, we use the same information from the property assessor's office. I don't know, but there are discrepancies. Everything on the computer that we see is not 100% correct, but
we need to move on the assumption that the information that our staff gathered from the property assessor is correct. Almost every item that comes before us, there could be some discrepancy in the square footage.
Granted.
So let's move with that idea, and I think that would take care of any problems. So either up or down, yes or no. We have a motion on it.
Make a motion to be approved.
Have a motion to be approved. We have a second. Have a second. Tony. Call the roll, please.
Keith Bratcher,
Yes.
Linda Danfee,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Tony Webb,
Yes.
Thane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
The next item we have is a request by Mike Lyles, who has established conditional use to establish an attached accessory dwelling.
Application 2010-36 filed by Mike Lyles involves property located at 2421 Old Nashville Highway. It's a 0.65 acre site, and it's located in the residential 15 district. He's seeking conditional use approval to allow the establishment of an attached accessory dwelling on a property less than 1 acre with variance relief from the 25% of the principal structure maximum square footage standard in the R15 zoning district. This property is located in Commissioner William Gooch's district. And the applicant is seeking to make their primary residence at this site. Within the last year or two, they have constructed an apartment over a 3-bay garage on the site. And the structure that he is proposing will be located in front of in front of the existing structure and be attached. Because of the size of the existing apartment on the second floor of the structure, it will exceed the 25% maximum. But since the proposed structure, the new structure will become the principal structure, since it exceeds the size of the structure that's there, and So it's 32% of the ADU. So slightly more than 25%. And it's surrounded by the Stones River National Battlefield on all directions in Old Nashville Highway. So I've not received any phone calls in favor, or we have received a phone call, informational call.
Yeah, there was, Mr. Chairman, I did receive a couple of calls, or I did take a couple of calls on this. Actually, Commissioner Gooch called me about this and said that he was okay with it a couple of weeks back. Also, the representative from the Battlefield called and really was just wanting to verify that they weren't asking for any kind of setback variances, which there's not any included with this.
No. And as you will see, these are the elevations of the property. The one on top shows the elevation that the applicant is going with. It will be attached by a gable-style roof. And the top elevation shows actually the rear elevation of the property, as if you're seeing the existing structure that's there with the rear of the proposed structure. And this will be the front elevation of the proposed structure. And staff recommends approval.
Do we have anyone here representing this request? If you'll come around, please, give us your name and any additional information you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mike Lyles. I live at 1411 Van Cleve Lane. This proposal is for 2421 Old Nashville Highway, and the existing structure that is there now will become, when the new structure is added, it will become total construction for the residents, for my wife and myself.
Any questions? Thank you, Mike. We'll open this for a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Commissioner Black.
Members of the board, Jack Black. I'm not the commissioner out there, but I'm familiar where Mr. Lyles is. I don't think he put nothing to subtract away from the area out there, and that's be my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's always helpful when our county commissioners, regardless whether they represent the district or not, give us their opinions, since they're out there in the field every day. And you are, right? You're out there every day. We'll close the public hearing. We have a motion on it.
Make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion that be approved. I'll second. Have a second. Linda. Call the roll, please.
Keith Bratcher.
Yes.
Linda Dansby.
Yes.
Jerry Sartain.
Yes.
Tony Webb.
Yes.
Thane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
The next item we have is a request by Ronnie Crabtree. He's requesting variance relief, and this is additional 780 square foot of detached structure.
Application 2010-37, filed by Ronnie Crabtree, involves property located at 221 Juniper Drive. This property is located in Commissioner Jack Black's district. It's a 1.77 acre parcel located in a residential 15 zone. The applicant is seeking variance relief to allow an additional 780 square feet of detached accessory structure area to an existing 4,490 square feet, for a total of 5,270 square feet of detached accessory structure area on the property located in the R15 zone. In 1993, the applicant did receive conditional use approval allowing the establishment of a woodworking shop in the residential zone. Along with that conditional permit, a variance was granted to allow an 1,872 square foot garage on the property. Since that time, our standard for detached accessory structures have changed, and the applicant has built additional structures, probably in accordance with the standard that was in place. However, because he wants to place another detached accessory structure on the property, he would need to obtain variance approval. The applicant did not identify any specific conditions related to the property that would cause him to have a need or show a hardship. This is a self-created situation, and staff recommends denial. I just want to bring to your attention the applicant did approach their neighbors, and they submitted a petition that was included, that's included in our file now. And he was able to obtain the signatures of all the properties that are highlighted in green, indicating that those property owners signed their names, indicating that they were in support of his variance request. His property is the light yellow. He actually owns a small parcel next to it. But all of those properties in green have no issue with the applicant seeking variance approval for an additional structure. And staff posted the sign, and that concludes our presentation.
Do we have anyone here representing this request? If you'll come around, please, give us your name and any additional information that you might have.
My name is Ronnie Crabtree, and my request is just to build the detached garage.
Do we have any questions? Thank you, sir. We're familiar with your request. We'll open this with a public hearing for anyone who'd like to speak on this request. Commissioner Black. It's really good to have you here tonight.
Jack Black, Commissioner out there. And I haven't heard no calls or nothing about nobody being opposed to Mr. Crabtree wanting to do this. And I've been by there and checked it out myself, and he's got an immaculate place, and I don't think he'd do nothing to subtract away from that subdivision there. So my wish would be to approve this if you could. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Black. Anyone else? We'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion on it.
I'll make a motion to be approved.
I have a motion to be approved. We need a second. Got a second, Tony? Call a roll, please.
Keith Bratcher.
Yes.
Linda Danfee.
Yes.
Jerry Sartain.
Yes.
Tony Webb.
Yes.
Zane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do we have anything else? That is our agenda. We stand adjourned. Thank you so much for being here.